90 days, almost 2,000 miles, lots of bugs on the visor, and a grin on your face. It's kind of hard to wipe off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a showroom fantasy walk around. This is real road tested 90-day review of the Fat Boy. And spoiler alert, she's got lots of muscle, lots of manners, and some surprises that'll kick you right in the tailbone. So about 90 days ago, we packed up and headed about 7 hours south to Seminole, Harley-Davidson in Florida, and picked up this 2018 Harley Fat Boy. It's absolutely beautiful. Got a chopped front fender, really great exhaust note courtesy of this Slash Cut Vance Hines, and enough chrome to blind a squirrel at sunrise, I swear. The question is, how does it hold up after a while? After 90 days of putting this thing through the paces, putting it through some real tests. We're talking lazy neighborhood back roads like we're on right now, twisty mountain roads up on our recent Blue Ridge motorcycle tour in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And then, of course, just city riding in Atlanta, you know, interstate speeds and then horrible stop and go traffic. It's been through it all in 90 days. So the question of the day is, how does it hold up? Is this still the Harley quintessential icon motorcycle that it's always been for so many years? Let's go find out. So why did I buy this motorcycle? Well, we had a bike in the garage that just wasn't getting ridden. It was a first-time bike for multiple people in my family, the Vulcan 900 Custom, and it's a great bike. It just, you know, we've moved on and everybody rides something else now, so it was just collecting dust, and I spent some time on a Harley Heritage Softail Classic way back in the day. I was looking at a Heritage Softail Classic, but the new light on the Fat Boy just really made me fall in love with this bike. Alright gang, so this is the 2018 Harley-Davidson Fat Boy. This particular model year, it came in a 107 and a 114. I can't really speak to the 114. I've heard the 114's got a bit more punch, but that the 107 is a smoother ride. I can attest to the fact that this is a pretty smooth riding bike. I believe it's got 89 horsepower and 110 foot-pound of torque. We got these solid Lakester disc tires up front and back. Got the steamroller front tire and this massive 240 millimeter rear tire. It's got the two-tone Wicked Red and Twisted Cherry paint scheme on it, which was a premium upgrade for this particular model year. Aftermarket chopped front fender, and then you've got that new style front headlight. A lot of people don't like it. This is actually what drew me to it. Aftermarket grips, aftermarket floorboards, Vance Hines Slash Cut exhaust, quick detached sissy bar. It's got these awesome Eagle One halo lights. Actually, let's just fire it up and let you hear it and show you these halo lights because they're pretty cool. So obviously it sounds amazing. Then you've got these Eagle One halo lights up front, which really add something to it, I think. They're pretty cool. There's your halo lights in the back. Now, even though we've got a sissy bar on it, obviously it's not really built or set up for touring. You can tour on this bike, but this one's more muscle and performance. And here's something I wanted to mention. This 19-inch detachable wind splitter windshield from Harley, it's pretty amazing. I've got a touring bike that's got one of those big riot shields on it. But if you notice, let me see if I can get it in there. This has got this little slight uptick. It's got this little curve out. And that one little design detail makes all the difference in wind buffeting and pushing the wind around you. Now you'll notice that the adjustment knob for the suspension is gone here. It's because we've got a Legends Revo A suspension under the seat here, and it does raise the height up about 2 inches. So it's got a lot more clearance. It leans a little bit better, just better performing in the corners. And you'll notice because it sits a little bit higher, it leans way over on that kickstand. Whew, it's hot as a motherfucker out here. Alright, let's talk performance, because this sucker is a torque monster. It pulls like crazy in the low band. It's still got plenty to go in the high band too. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's got 6 gears, and normally your 6th gear would be like an overdrive for highway speeds, but this bike still pulls like a freight train in 6th gear at highway speeds. It's kind of crazy. Of course, it's got that quintessential Harley clunk going into 1st gear, and it also has that quintessential problem finding neutral that Harley does. I'm probably going to get one of those Kraus quick shifters for the shift adjustment lever, but anyway, stability wise, the bike is really awesome. I mean, the bike is about 670 pounds dry, so I'd guess with a full tank you're pushing 700 pounds. And then with those wide tires and that weight, it's just firmly planted at all speeds. Going down the interstate, you feel completely stable. And it might be because we have that Legends Revo A shock on it, that upgraded shock, but the Fat Boy can corner, y'all. I mean, that's a myth that we sufficiently busted. We took it to the mountains, went to the Georgia Dragon, Unicoi Parkway, Slushus Loop, Blood Mountain Run, and this sucker will get up and go, and it will corner really, really good. Again, maybe because we've got an upgraded suspension on it. And I will say this, it's not flickable, right? So I mean, if you're going to compare it to other bikes, which we'll get to in a minute, it takes intentional movement to corner, right? So, and it's kind of slow to respond. 2-up riding, you know, like we said earlier, the Heritage Softail Classics probably more suited to that from the Softail line. You can do it. I mean, we've got passenger pegs and a backrest on this one, but it's really more of a 1-up, really performance cruiser style ride. But that windshield, like we were saying, that this curved lip on the windshield, man, that makes such a difference. I don't understand why every windshield doesn't have that on it. As far as looks go, I mean, motorcycle attractiveness is obviously in the eye of the beholder. Everybody has their own taste in what kind of motorcycle they like, but this bike is an absolute head turner. It's funny, when we took our Blue Ridge motorcycle tour, there were times where we went in to get a drink or get gas or whatever it may be, and I left the selfie view camera running, and it was kind of funny seeing all the people that would walk by and hesitate and eyeball the bike. Yeah, it's a head turner. Let's stop here in the shade for a minute. The cons on this bike, I think I mentioned them. You know, it is slow to maneuver. It corners really, really well. Don't get me wrong. But it is slow to respond to your inputs. So you just kind of got to get used to that. Comfort and ergonomics. I mean, it's a low slung seat. My feet are easily planted on the ground with still lots of bend in my leg. I'm 6'1", but this bike would be completely comfortable for anybody, I think, of any height because of the low seat height. And our seat's actually raised a couple of inches because of that upgraded suspension. But I will say this, the stock seat, not the best. And we learned that. If you ever go 500, 600, even up to 1,000 miles like we did in one weekend, 1,000 miles on a 4-day stint, yeah, this seat will start to really make your bum feel pretty bad.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, this thing needs a new seat, man.
If I was going to compare this to any other bikes, at least in the Softail line, it doesn't really ride like the Heritage Softail Classic does. That's more of a 2-up, touring type bike. This is far more muscular and aggressive. The other Softails, I mean, we're talking about what the Street Bob and the Standard, which are kind of, I guess nowadays those are the entry-level models now. Now that they no longer have the Sportster, and I don't mean the bike that they're currently calling the Sportster, which everybody agrees is really not a Sportster. And of course the Nightster, which nobody really wants to touch. Barring those two, I'd say the Softail Standard and the Street Bob are probably considered entry level at this point for Harley. Of course, they are introducing that new Sprint model under $6,000 in the 2026 lineup, but that's a video. That's a whole nother video. And then you got the Lowrider S and ST. Now those, again, this bike is heavy planted torque and muscle and intentional movement. Whereas the Lowrider S, Lowrider ST, those are far more sportier, probably a little bit lighter weight. I don't know what the weight is off the top of my head, but far more flickable, right? Bikes outside of Harley, I would say maybe the Indian Chief Bobber or Dark Horse. Although I think those are probably going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit smoother ride. The Yamaha Raider, that's been discontinued, but that certainly was a muscle bike, a less expensive metric. Now the Honda Rebels, there's the Rebel 1100, but it's a small bike. I don't think it really compares to this. Maybe the old Valkyrie, Honda Valkyrie, that was probably a more muscular competitor that would be like a Fat Boy, but they don't make those anymore either. If there's one bike, I would say, outside of Harley that is most comparable to the Fat Boy, I would say it's the Suzuki M109R. Now, arguably, the M109R is going to be more aggressive, probably a little bit higher performance, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like that's probably a very comparable bike to me. Fuel economy, I think we're getting between 40 and 45 miles per gallon. So, would I buy this bike again? Yes, 100 times out of 100. It's only been 90 days, but like I said, we have put every kind of mile you can think about onto it. 2,000 miles in those 90 days. Casual rides, twisty mountain roads, traffic, a little bit of everything. It's not for everybody. It's a performance cruiser. You got to muscle it around a little bit, but if you're not, a tiny little slight built person, you can manage it perfectly fine. This is a type of bike that it demands respect. It demands respect from the rider, and it gets respect from people riding with you or onlookers. So if you're looking for a bike that's got kind of that brawny style, this is a great bike to consider. And the bottom line is, it's a fun bike to ride, and that cannot be overestimated. You can talk about spec sheets, performance reviews, upgradability. You can talk about that stuff all you want till the cows come home, but the bottom line is, what's the fun factor? And this is a fun bike to ride. We're gonna go give it a little juice, and while we do, you guys jump down in the comment section and tell me what you think of this Fat Boy. What do you think about the Fat Boy in general? Do you think it's still the quintessential Harley icon motorcycle? Or do you think it's been replaced by the modern day baggers? Because the street glides and the road glides, that's what everybody goes for these days. Most people you talk to will still say the Harley Fat Boy is the icon, but I don't know, man. You tell me. Gotta let this car get ahead of me a little ways so we can have some fun.